We all love co-op games.
Oh no. Oh no!
Oh no! No! The last couple of years, the popularity of co-op games has exploded. Lethal Company, Repo, Peak, Are We There Yet, Gone Fishing. All of a sudden, these cheap, simple games are somehow dominating the gaming industry with awards and sales alike. And not just the indie games. Hazelight Studios, a developer that has built their entire identity around co-op games, released It Takes Two in 2021, and that game took them all the way to winning Game of the Year. So what's happening here? Why is this genre of game exploding, and what makes this genre of game so special? But before we get into all that, let's first understand what I'm talking about when I say co-op game. To me, a co-op game can be played with 2 or more people, has game mechanics designed for multiple people, incentivizes communication and collaboration, and gives players a shared goal. So although a game like Minecraft has multiplayer in it, there aren't any specific mechanics that promote multiplayer. You can play together, but the game doesn't need you to. Let's first take a look at all these new online indie games. The 2 that I have played are Lethal Company and Peak. In Lethal Company, you and your crew land your ship on different planets and collect scrap to sell. Each round, you have 3 chances to gather enough scrap to meet the quota for the company you work for. In Peak, you and some friends have crash landed on an island, and it's your goal to climb to the top of the island so a helicopter can pick you up. Both of these games are super simple. One is an extraction looter, and the other is a climbing stamina management game. Yet somehow they were 2 of the best-selling games in the years that they came out, and there's 3 things that they have in common that I think made them successful. Firstly, they're cheap, with Lethal Company at $10 and Peak only at $8. It's not hard to convince your friends to play a game with you if the game is not much more than a deck of Uno. Secondly, they're digestible. My friend once asked me to play Destiny 2 with him, and once he started telling me about the years of lore that I had already missed, I immediately fell out of place. So when climb a mountain is the goal, it's not hard for your friends to accept what's going on. Thirdly, the games are developed in a way that incentivizes communication, cooperation, and moments where you get to watch your friends die in the most hilarious ways. In Lethal Company, for example, some of your friends might find a monster before you and let you know not to go down a certain hallway. Whoa! Whoa! What was that? What is that? What is that? What is that?
Whoa.
There was something. It was like a little fat bastard. In Peak, one of your friends might have found a better route than you. If you don't have a way to communicate with your friends about what's going on in the game, you're kinda screwed. That's why these games take that ability to communicate away with proximity chat. If you get separated from the group in Lethal Company or Peak, all of a sudden your options to navigate the game get super limited. What? But when you are with your group, almost every hurdle needs you and your friends to work together. In Peak, your friend might have more stamina than you. There's some cliffs that they can scale that you would likely fall on. So when this happens, which is a lot, your friend can climb up first and they can help you get over that last part of the cliff by pulling you up.
JP's gonna need it.
Oh yeah. This assist mechanic is so integral to the game that it's literally bound to your right click. In Lethal Company, you or one of your friends can stay behind in the ship. In the ship is a map that shows not only you, but monsters too.
Look on the screen. You see how there's like what looks like a stream? That's like the nearest route. So if you're like full lost, someone can just die.
Having a friend radio in and tell you where to go is such a lifesaver. Both these games also have hilarious ways of dying for some reason. Watching your friend plummet hundreds of feet to the ground is genuinely one of the funniest moments in all of gaming. I'm passing it out.
Oh, great. Oh, you're good. Oh no! Oh no! No!
It's these 3 reasons that these indie co-op games are so amazing. Being able to have these fun, cheap games has saved so many hangout sessions with my friends. Driving 20 minutes to hang out after a long day of work can be hard sometimes, but hopping on Peak, having one of the best and funniest hours of my life is so easy. The indie game developers have created some great co-op games, but there's one development studio that's taken co-op to its fullest potential. And that's Hazelight Studios. Each of their games requires 2 people to play, so there is no solo mode. While this may sound limiting, it actually gives the devs the freedom to produce the best game experience for 2 people. The first game that really set their co-op prowess in motion is A Way Out. In A Way Out, you play as Vincent and Leo, two prisoners trying to find a way out. You and your friend will escape doing mostly puzzles, stealth missions, and some moments with QTEs. The first few hours or so, the part of the game where you're actually escaping, is definitely the most boring part of the game, but once you've escaped, this game really starts to pop off, and the ending is immaculate. The base Hazelight style is definitely apparent in this game. You have the same interact buttons, the same menu design, lots of puzzles, and the introduction of one of my favorite Hazelight mechanics, and that's the super interactable world. You can do pull-ups, eat in the cafeteria, etc. Throughout the entire game, there's something for you to do. After A Way Out, this interactable world shows up a lot in their games. In terms of what I recommend this game, I would say this is definitely Hazelight's most mature game, so you probably shouldn't play with kids.
Whoa, you can see some dong! You see that? Look at that, you can see the bush!
And it's also their least fleshed out, but compared to their other games, A Way Out definitely has the best story, and the ending is a gaming moment you will never forget. Hazelight definitely learned a lot from A Way Out, and you can tell that in their next game, It Takes Two. The base gameplay of It Takes Two is quite a bit different from A Way Out, with It Takes Two focusing on fluid platforming. Jumps, dashes, rope swinging, that sort of thing. Like in A Way Out, the world of It Takes Two is super interactable. There's snowball fights, throwable exploding stars, and these competitive minigames that are littered throughout the entire game. In A Way Out, the gameplay is pretty similar throughout the entire game. Prison escape, stealth sections, running from the cops, etc. But in It Takes Two, the genre of game changes constantly. In one section, you'll be running around a snow globe, freeing a frozen village, and in another, you're fighting a giant toy octopus on a pirate ship. Where the gameplay in A Way Out can get a little old, It Takes Two is constantly fresh and fun. Also in A Way Out, there isn't really anything that separates Vincent and Leo. Both characters kinda just offer the same gameplay. However, in It Takes Two, Cody may always contribute to the gameplay in a different way. In one section, Cody has a gun that shoots combustible sap, while May's gun shoots exploding matches. And later, Cody has a belt that lets him shrink and grow, and May has gravity boots that let her walk on walls. This character diversification keeps communication constant. Not only are you trying to figure out where your ability fits in the gameplay, but you're also trying to figure out how it interacts with your friends. The entire game is a tennis match of, you need to use your ability here, and I need to use my ability there. The character and gameplay diversity, the interactable world, all of these lessons are what led Hazelight to make what I think is their best game yet, Split Fiction. Split Fiction is a lot like It Takes Two. There's similar movements, similar puzzles and bosses, and the same keep giving them new shit to do philosophy. But the big difference is Split Fiction takes the co-op game genius of It Takes Two and runs with it. You know how I said It Takes Two has a lot of diverse gameplay? That's nothing compared to Split Fiction. In Split Fiction, you will become a monkey in a tree, play as a pinball machine and a ball, ride around on dragons, do gravity jumps, dodge lasers, and fight a giant robot. And this is just scratching the surface. In place of all the small competitions in It Takes Two are these side stories, each with a new gameplay mechanic. In one, you become Teeth and fight a dentist, and in another, you enter a notebook and the entire art style changes. These are just 2 of the 12 side stories in the game, and the other 10 are just as unique and just as creative. That's where the devs went up to the director, asked which ideas should be in the game, and the director just said yes. Split Fiction also has the most spectacle. There were probably well over 100 moments in the game where my wife and I were like, whoa. Especially in the ending of the game. I won't spoil much, but it's genuinely insane. I don't know how Hazelight pulled it off. With Hazelight figuring out this co-op style to a T, they have been doing really well. With It Takes Two winning Game of the Year in 2021 and outselling their previous game by 12 million copies. Due to our enjoyment of It Takes Two, my wife and I got Split Fiction and 100% of the game in just 2 days, and that's a 15-hour game. These games are just so freaking fun and such cool experiences to share with someone, and the replayability on them is quite up there. After a year of not playing these games, we forgot most of the puzzles and mechanics, to the point that it almost felt like we were playing it for the first time again. If you have a friend, a roommate, a child, a spouse, or anyone you enjoy spending time with, I highly recommend you play a Hazelight game with them. So co-op games are blowing up, and I love it. In recent years, to me at least, co-op games or even co-op in games has been missing for a long time. I feel like growing up, I play games more often with my brothers than I ever did alone, and I think that just comes down to the fact that most games had couch co-op in some way or another. Halo campaigns could be played co-op, COD had 4-player co-op, and every single LEGO game could be played together. And the co-op in these games was well implemented too, not just thrown in the game willy-nilly. The most recent COD I've played was Cold War, and while that does have local co-op, they limited it down from 4 to 2 players. Gran Turismo 7 has probably the worst local co-op I've ever seen. Then there's Little Nightmares 3. This was finally the first game in the Little Nightmares series with co-op, which I was super excited about, until I heard the new devs of this game had the audacity to not only not have crossplay, but also have no local co-op, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. I think this long absence of co-op games, especially local co-op games, is why games like Peak, Lethal Company, and It Takes Two are doing so well. Even though 2 of those games don't have local co-op, they almost feel like a local co-op game. They're simple enough where you and your friends can easily chat about whatever you want while you play, and make it feel like you're sitting right there next to them. I think another reason the Hazelight games are doing so well is the fact that outside of Hazelight, I can't think of any developers that make co-op focused story games. People just love co-op. Heck, we've always loved co-op. I'm so glad that the co-op game resurgence is happening, and I can't wait for more of these games to come out. You know how Little Nightmares 3 was such a huge letdown? Well, it turns out that the original developers of Little Nightmares 1 and 2 are working on a new local co-op game, thank you God, called Reanimal. Even though Little Nightmares 1 and 2 didn't have co-op, my friends and I still made it work. For both of those games, we would all sit in a dark room, poop in our pants, and pass in the controller every 10 minutes. The fact that an actual co-op Little Nightmares-esque game is coming is so exciting. Reanimal, Out of Words, Subnautica 2, whatever Hazelight makes next, and the couple of awesome new indie games that are probably going to be coming out soon, I can't wait for any of them. Co-op games are fun. They give me and my friends good reasons to hang out. They give me and my wife something to play together. They're cheap, they're simple, and most importantly, they're a big F you to the AAA industry. I love co-op games. You love co-op games. We all love co-op games. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe even consider subscribing. That would be very cool. Let me know what you guys thought about this. I really love playing co-op games. I think they're one of the funnest games out there, playing them whether in person or online. So let me know what your guys' favorite co-op games are, and what kind of co-op games are you looking forward to? Because I think Reanimal looks pretty sick. I'm kind of super excited for that. I think next video I'm going to do is going to be on Silksong. So I did like a Arc Raiders review video, and that one did really well. So I think I'm going to do like a similar type review video, but for Silksong. But I first have to beat that game. So that one will probably come out in like a month or something. Oh yeah, my Twitch. I gotta mention my Twitch. That'll be linked in the description. So I do stream. So if you like my personality, you can watch that personality play games. But yeah, anyways, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.